Hello, welcome to the 5th episode of EmanCast. I'm your host, Eman 2. Joining me today for this month's special guest is Witz.
Hello.
In this episode we're going to be discussing some more Mario Maker 2 subjects. We're going to see how the 5th episode of EmanCast goes. Witz, how are you doing today?
Doing fine.
That's good. I'm doing well myself. All right. So as tradition for this podcast is, I always start off the episode with ask how you are, but what are your thoughts about Super Mario Maker 2 as a game? Like, not really competitive side, more of just like a typical casual game that you can play along with your other Nintendo Switch games. Like, what do you think of Mario Maker 2 in that aspect?
I mean, I think it is a good game by itself, but it gets a bit boring after a while seeing the same exact levels just kind of spammed and stuff.
Yeah.
But the aspect is creative, being able to just make your own levels.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I get that. I also do get like the whole levels can get repetitive. Like, especially if you're playing like endless mode, then you'll definitely see like repetition when it comes to like the type of levels. Like with easy, you're gonna get like auto levels or just a standard hold right.
Levels.
Yeah, probably. And then in expert, you'll probably get troll levels, and super expert, you'll get Kaizo levels, and normal. What do you usually get in normal? Like, I guess normal traditional levels, but besides that, I think it is, yeah. Now, the second question is, now that we've talked about the more casual side of Mario Maker 2, in terms of like the competitive nature of the communities, which we'll talk more about the communities later on, but as a whole, what are your thoughts about the competitive side of Super Mario Maker 2?
Honestly, competitively, I think the game. Well, first of all, there is lag and stuff, but I feel like slapping a rank onto something makes a lot of people want to just become sweaty to get like an S rank or something.
Yeah.
It's it's a well implemented system, but I just feel like competitive was something I kind of dropped out of because I just couldn't really
Like
do much.
like you're talking about multiplayer versus in that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was just.
Yeah. Yeah. I get that. Because I feel like that most online multiplayer games nowadays do have like that whole rank system, which leads to a lot more people wanting to grind and get the best score, which ultimately it can take the enjoyment away from the game, especially when you're like very far into what you do. I can understand that 100%. But yeah. Now, the next question, sticking with the topic of the competitive side, in Mario Maker 2, as I'm sure you're aware, there are communities in the game, such as the Versus community, the Kaizo community, all that, and there's like teams, like for those specific Kaizo levels, like Team Shell or Team Precision. If you have you been in like one of those teams, and if you have, what was your like, did you enjoy it? And also, to an extent, what are your thoughts on it?
I haven't ever been in like a team or something. I know I am in I'm in the Versus Discord.
Yeah.
And it's fine. I guess not really anything much around there.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I've heard some things about the Versus server, but I on the Versus Discord server, but I personally haven't seen anything but from what I've seen, but that may just be me. But because I know a couple of other people have had their experiences with like the Discord, but that's not what I have seen, for me at least. Now, the next question I have for you is, so you had mentioned to me a little bit earlier, and I kind of want to talk about it a little bit. So, you ended up dropping Super Mario Maker 2, or like just stop playing it, or significantly playing it less, or did you like or you just straight up don't play it anymore, or do you just like
I
play
just straight up don't play it anymore.
play it anymore? Okay. And I've noticed that it's been happening a lot, but people have different reasons for doing so. If you don't mind sharing, did you have just a specific reason for not wanting to play the game anymore?
Well, 1 was lag, 2 was kind of just repetitive stuff,
Yeah.
and 3 was I was just kind of losing enjoyment with the game, to be honest.
Yeah, and when a game stops getting updated, it's like, what's the point of just like waiting? But
Yeah.
hence something like, well, actually, I don't know. I was gonna say Switch Sports, but then I realized that they do get updates, just not in the right way. But
Free content updates.
absolutely.
Moment.
I mean, I was talking about that in the last episode with Zumi, and I was like, or I think I said it at the beginning, like, Mario Maker 2 is actually a finished game, but it's still got updates, whereas something like Switch Sports or Mario Strikers Battle League, they aren't finished games, and they just get free updates, which
Yeah, Mario Strikers Battle League, I think, was the one game that got hit really hard by it.
And
like with previous iterations, you at least had a decent enough roster. With Battle League, it just gave you like 10 characters.
Right. And I think, and I don't even think it was Battle League's fault. I just think it was like the straw that broke the camel's back for people, because that was like, what, the 4th or 5th time that Nintendo had released an unfinished game in the past like 3 or 4.
$60.
What's that?
$60.
Oh yeah, for sure. But yeah. But that's, yeah. I guess they thought that they were trying to get interest in it, keep interest by those updates, but if there's no content at launch, nobody's going to be interested. Like, I'm not joking you when I say I played Mario Strikers Battle League at launch. Like, when it first came out, I played through all the tourneys, but then when I found out it had updates, I said, oh, that's cool. And I still haven't touched it since. I still haven't played the game since. So, yeah.
Yeah, the thing is, I'm pretty sure even with the free updates, there's still not going to be enough to satisfy the likes of, like, Charged or something.
Oh, yeah. But, yeah, the stadiums are kind of bland in that, but I got...
Literally, just choose which color of grass you want.
Oh, absolutely. The amount of customization is just unreal. But yeah. I got a little bit off track, I know. So I agree. Those are a lot of things that I have felt. Lag, absolutely. I have literally, when I'm upset in verses, I literally say, okay, this lag is dumb. I don't like it. And repetitiveness, we already talked about. And the third one was just losing interest, which we kind of talked about with the free updates thing. All right.
Yeah.
So we've covered all that. So, the next question I had for you is, when you did play Mario Maker 2, did you ever make levels, or were you more of a player? Like, you didn't really make levels, you just played them.
I think I made a few levels, but afterwards just kind of quit after doing that, so it was more of like on the playing aspect.
Yeah. I've definitely played Mario Maker more than I've made Mario Maker levels, but yeah. Now this next question that I had for you was, when you did play Super Mario Maker 2, what is one thing that you loved about the game, or if you have any, or one thing that you did not like about the game? Like, I know that we kind of discussed why you dropped the game, but I feel like, yeah, there's stuff that, I mean, I'm sure the game wasn't all bad. It just was not that fun to play for 3 years anymore. But so, what was one thing that you loved and one thing that you didn't like about the game?
Something I definitely liked was the little customization. Like, you could do pretty much anything with levels.
Yeah.
And all that, but one thing I just despised was the lag. Like, to play on servers that ran like potatoes.
Potatoes. For real. I mean, the problem is, like, we're in the year 2022 and they're still using peer-to-peer servers. That was old in like 2006. It's like so behind of like I don't think I rarely like I don't even know if other I don't know anyone besides Nintendo who uses the P2P servers, but I'm sure they do. I just only know of Nintendo to do that. But yeah, lag is one that I definitely agree on. Customization, 100% agree. I think that Mario Maker 2 really upped what Mario Maker 1 had, and I feel like it's succeeded in that perfectly, at least for me.
What I also find funny is how the Switch is generally not really capable of playing playing outside games, like non-Nintendo games. Like take Fall Guys, for example. It's like really, really laggy on the Switch.
Well, okay, I feel like Fall Guys can be 100% laggy. Oh yeah, absolutely. But to be honest, I have thought Fall Guys it's weird to me. Fall Guys runs better than stuff like Mario Maker 2, Smash Ultimate, and I think I haven't played this game yet, but Kirby's Dream Buffet also has laggy laggy servers. But yeah.
What I find ironic is how technically with the Switch itself, like the Fall Guys, they had to take out like probably 80% of the game because of the Switch bugs.
Oh yeah, I remember that. But yeah. Now, the last thing that I wanted to say before we wrap this up is if someone were to make a Mario Maker level right now, from your experience of playing the game, what advice would you give on making levels? Like, if a player wants to, or a new player, just someone wants to make levels, what advice would you give to those people?
I'll try and generally be creative. Probably don't just upload a literal template level or just something really unoriginal.
Oh, yeah.
Try and just get creative with what you want to do.
Yeah. Honestly.
Also, don't put enemy spam.
Oh, absolutely not. I hate enemy spams. But, yeah. Enemy spams, 100%. Template levels, absolutely. They are Nintendo's levels, not yours. So, that's the way I see it. So, yeah. Those were all the questions that I had for you, Witz. So, thank you so much for joining me on this episode of EmanCast.
No problem.
Yeah. So I will see you guys all on December 3rd. Yeah, I forgot the date. December 3rd, 2022 for the 6th episode of EmanCast. Take care, everyone.